Remember when trucks had character? When every brand had its own sound, its own feel, its own attitude on the road? Before everything became plastic, computerized, and identical, there was an era filled with bold designs, loud engines, and machines built to survive anything. Some of those brands vanished, but their legacy never did. Today, we're bringing them back. From companies that built unstoppable workhorses to forgotten giants that made trucks tougher, simpler, and more powerful than many rigs today. These are the 10 old-school truck brands that deserve a comeback. And once you see them, you'll wonder why the industry ever let them go. Number 1. Diamond Reo. Diamond Reo was not a company that chased fancy designs or followed trends. It was a brand built on pure American toughness. When Diamond T and Reo Motors merged, the trucking world didn't expect much at first. But then the Diamond Reo giant hit the market, and everything changed. These trucks were instantly recognized for being overbuilt in all the best ways. The frames were heavier than competitors, the axles were thicker, and the suspension setups looked like something designed for military equipment, not commercial trucking. Drivers who ran these rigs often said if a load didn't break the giant, nothing would. This brand earned a cult following among loggers, construction crews, oil field haulers, and steel transport operations, industries where ordinary trucks were crushed under harsh conditions. The Diamond Reo machines were not just tools, they were survival partners. The company believed in building trucks that could withstand punishment far beyond their rated capacities. Even today, 40 to 50 years later, you'll still see Diamond Reos working in rough terrain, hauling heavy loads, or pulling log trailers through forests where modern trucks wouldn't dare go. Their engines, Detroit diesels, Cummins big cams, and massive Caterpillars made them torque monsters on any terrain. And unlike today's electronic-dependent trucks, Diamond Reos were completely mechanical. If something went wrong, any experienced driver or mechanic could fix it with basic tools. No laptops, no diagnostic ports, just skill and metal. This is why truckers still dream of a Diamond Reo comeback, not because of nostalgia alone, but because the industry is losing the rugged simplicity and mechanical strength these giants offered. If the brand came back with updated comforts but the same hardcore DNA, it would immediately dominate heavy-duty markets again. Number 2. White Motor Company. White Motor Company was once one of the biggest names in American trucking. In its prime, it stood alongside giants like Mack and International, shaping the future of heavy transport. White trucks were known for their engineering ingenuity and reliability, especially during the 1940s. This company wasn't interested in cheap production. They built trucks that were meant to last, built for fleets that needed long-term mileage without endless maintenance costs. One of the most impressive things about White Motor Company was its commitment to driver comfort. Long before it became an industry trend, their cabs were more ergonomic and spacious than many competitors. They focused on better visibility, safer layouts, and durable interiors that didn't fall apart after years on the road. Fleet owners loved White because the trucks didn't sit in repair shops. Drivers loved them because they were comfortable for long hauls. It was the perfect blend. In the 1970s, White struggled financially and eventually became part of Volvo. The name disappeared, but its impact remained strong. Many drivers who grew up during the era still talk about White trucks with admiration. Rigs like the Road Boss, the 7000 series, and the Western series. A comeback would give today's market something it desperately lacks. A brand focused on durability, simplicity, and practical engineering rather than excessive electronics and cost-cutting. The legacy of White deserves revival because the trucking world still needs machines built for reliability, not complexity. Number 3. Brockway. Brockway trucks were not mass-produced boxes. They were handcrafted machines built with precision. Each truck felt unique because it was unique. Brockway allowed customers to order custom-built specifications, making their rigs some of the most personalized in trucking history. Based in Cortland, New York, the brand quickly earned a reputation for toughness and reliability in industries where failure wasn't an option. One of Brockway's biggest strengths was its ability to build trucks for extreme environments: logging, snow removal, heavy haul, oil fields. Brockway trucks dominated them all. They featured exceptionally strong frames, durable steel cabs, and powertrain options that reflected the toughest demands of the time. Drivers appreciated the strong construction, but what they loved even more was how Brockway trucks felt. When you sat inside a Brockway, you felt the thickness of the metal, the sturdiness of the controls, the intentional design of every component. Mac's acquisition of Brockway eventually ended its era, and the final truck rolled off the line in 1977. But the fan base never died. Brockway truck shows still draw large crowds, a sign that the brand left a permanent mark. If Brockway returned today focusing on custom builds and ultra-tough specialty rigs, it would fill a niche that modern companies have abandoned. The industry has shifted to mass production and generic designs, but there is still a huge market of owner-operators who crave unique, durable, handcrafted trucks. Brockway was the king of that world, and a comeback could bring back the soul of custom trucking. Number 4. Autocar highway trucks. Autocar is still alive today, but only in the vocational sector. The models truckers truly miss are the old highway machines, rugged beasts like the Autocar AT64, DC series, and conventional models that were legendary for their strength and durability. These trucks were built for one purpose: to survive jobs that would destroy other rigs. What made Autocar highway trucks special was their construction philosophy. They weren't designed with efficiency or luxury in mind. They were designed for maximum structural strength. The frames were some of the thickest in the industry. The cabs were made of heavy-gauge steel. Every weld, bolt, and bracket was engineered for longevity. These trucks were incredibly popular with heavy-haul operators, logging fleets, and oversized load companies because they simply would not crack, twist, or fail. Their engine offerings added to their legendary status. Detroit diesel two-stroke screamers, Cummins big cam engines, and massive Caterpillars gave Autocar trucks raw pulling power unmatched by many competitors. Drivers loved how straightforward the mechanics were. Everything was accessible. Everything was simple. You didn't need a computer or technician. You just needed knowledge and basic tools. The cab interiors were basic, but extremely solid. No rattles, no cheap plastics, no electronics that died in extreme conditions. These trucks were built like rolling bunkers. A modern Autocar highway truck with the same toughness but updated comfort would instantly dominate heavy-haul industries today. Truckers miss machines that feel heavy, stable, and unstoppable. Autocar used to build those machines, and the industry is craving them again. Number 5. Marmon. Marmon is widely remembered as the most exclusive, high-quality truck brand ever to operate in North America. Often called the Rolls-Royce of trucks, Marmon built rigs by hand, not assembly line. Every truck was custom designed to meet the exact needs of the buyer, making each Marmon unique, personalized, and built with precision. Marmon trucks were famous for their beautiful long-nose conventionals, clean lines, and premium craftsmanship. They weren't the biggest company, but they were the one every owner-operator dreamed of. Their cabs used top-tier materials, their frames were durable, and the trucks were engineered for longevity. Marmon trucks also featured some of the best engine options of their era. Cat 3406, Cummins N14, Detroit 60 series engines trusted by professional drivers. What set Marmon apart was its philosophy: quality over quantity. They produced limited numbers, ensuring every truck met high standards. But when the trucking industry shifted toward mass production and cost-cutting, Marmon couldn't compete financially. The final Marmon left the factory in 1997, ending an era of true custom luxury trucking. Today, Marmons are collector's items. Even old, worn-out units sell for premium prices because drivers know they were built better than almost anything else. A modern revival of Marmon could bring back the lost art of hand-built, premium, owner-operator-focused trucks, something the industry no longer offers. A comeback would shake the entire trucking market in the best way possible. Number 6. White-Freightliner. Before Freightliner became the massive corporate brand we know today, it operated under the name White-Freightliner, and the trucks built during this era were nothing short of iconic. These rigs dominated the 1960s through the early 1980s because they were built completely differently from most trucks of their time. While other companies focused on heavy steel and big cabs, White-Freightliner had a revolutionary idea: use lightweight aluminum to create stronger, more efficient trucks. This approach made their conventionals and cabovers significantly lighter than their competitors. And in trucking, weight is money. A lighter truck means more payload, better fuel economy, and less stress on components. Fleet owners loved them because they could haul more freight per trip, and owner-operators loved them because they saved money on fuel and maintenance. But lightweight didn't mean weak. White-Freightliner rigs were incredibly durable. Their aluminum panels resisted rust, their frames were solid, and the overall construction made them reliable for million-mile operations. Many of these trucks from the 1970s still survive today, especially in logging, mining, and specialty hauling. Drivers appreciated the straightforward engineering. The wiring was simple. The engines, Detroit Diesel 7192 series, Cummins NTC, and early Caterpillars were easy to access and repair. Nothing was overcomplicated. You didn't need computers or diagnostics tools, just knowledge, wrenches, and maybe a hammer. A revival of White-Freightliner would fill a massive hole in today's market. Modern trucks are heavier, overloaded with electronics, and expensive to maintain. Bringing back a lightweight, mechanically simple, fuel-efficient brand like White-Freightliner would shake the industry, and truckers would line up instantly to buy them. Number 7. International Harvester. Long before the international trucks we know today, the original International Harvester, IH, was a powerhouse in American manufacturing. They built tractors, machinery, engines, equipment, and some of the toughest trucks ever to hit North American roads. Their trucks weren't pretty, but they were honest. They were built for farmers, construction workers, steel haulers, and industries that needed machines to last for decades, not just warranty periods. The IH trucks had a reputation for being nearly impossible to kill. Models like the Transtar, Fleetstar, Loadstar, and Paystar were staples in heavy industries. Their engines, whether IH-built diesels, Detroit diesels, or Cummins, were workhorses designed to push through brutal workloads. These trucks often operated for 30-40 years, some even longer, proving just how overbuilt they were. International Harvester trucks also had a unique personality. They looked rugged, with boxy shapes, thick steel cabs, and a commanding presence on the road. Drivers loved their simplicity. Mechanics loved their accessibility. Fleet owners loved their longevity. IH built trucks that didn't rely on fancy electronics. They relied on pure engineering. When IH dissolved and transformed into Navistar, the original charm of the brand disappeared. New trucks were born, but the old-school toughness of IH was lost. Today, many truckers wish IH would return with the same no-nonsense philosophy. Build a truck that works harder than anything else, lasts forever, and doesn't break the bank to maintain. A comeback of the original International Harvester brand could restore true American working-class trucking power, something the industry desperately misses. Number 8. Oshkosh Highway Trucks. Oshkosh is still very much alive, but most people know it today for military vehicles, fire trucks, and severe-duty vocational equipment. What truckers miss are the old Oshkosh highway rigs, the brutal machines built during the 1960s-1980s that were engineered with military-grade strength for extreme operations. Oshkosh didn't just build trucks, they built survival machines. Their frames were incredibly thick, their components were oversized, and many of their highway trucks came with all-wheel drive, something still rare in the semi-truck world even today. This made Oshkosh rigs unbeatable in logging, snow plowing, off-road hauling, and heavy industrial transport. Drivers who operated Oshkosh trucks described them as unstoppable tanks. These trucks weren't built for comfort, they were built to conquer terrain that normal trucks couldn't even enter. Mud, deep snow, steep mountain roads, washed-out logging paths. Oshkosh trucks powered through them with confidence. The engines were equally powerful. Detroit Diesel 8V92 Screamers, Cummins 855 Big Cams, and massive Caterpillar engines turned these trucks into torque monsters, capable of pulling oversized loads through impossible terrains. Their design was intentional, rugged, and functional. The steel cabs were reinforced. The driveline components were built heavier than necessary. The suspensions were designed for off-road punishment. If Oshkosh ever returned to building highway semis with their military DNA, they would immediately dominate heavy industries like logging, mining, and special transport. The world badly needs a truck brand that prioritizes strength and survival over electronics and fuel economy charts, and Oshkosh was the best at that. Number 9. Hayes. In the rugged wilderness of Canada, no truck earned more respect than Hayes. Founded in British Columbia, Hayes built semi-trucks specifically designed for the extreme world of West Coast logging. These were not highway pretty boys. They were brutal, heavyweight, unstoppable machines made for mountains, forests, mud paths, and dangerous terrain that destroyed most trucks within a few years. A Hayes truck was instantly recognizable. Their massive steel cabs, heavy frames, oversized fuel tanks, and unique bulldog-like stance made them look like machines born for war. They were incredibly popular among loggers because Hayes built trucks that could survive the weight of enormous timber loads on steep, unpaved mountain roads. Their Pacific Series trucks, especially the Hayes HD, were legendary. These trucks were overbuilt in every possible way. Thick steel, reinforced chassis, heavy-duty suspensions, and huge power plants from Detroit Diesel and Cummins. Many Hayes trucks stayed in service for 40-50 years because they were simply too strong to die. Drivers admired them for their durability, but also for their stability. Even while hauling massive logs through winding mountain trails, Hayes trucks stayed planted and controlled. That kind of trust is priceless in logging operations. Today, Hayes is long gone, but the desire for its comeback is strong. The logging industry still needs a truck built for raw survival instead of highway comfort. A revival of Hayes would instantly shake the heavy-duty segment because no modern truck is engineered with the same extreme toughness that Hayes delivered. Number 10. Foden. Foden was one of the oldest and most respected truck manufacturers in the world. Founded in the 1800s, Foden built its legacy on producing machines that could outlast the competition. For more than 100 years, Foden trucks were known for their reliability, strong construction, and ability to thrive in the toughest transportation conditions. What made Foden special was its use of high-quality materials and smart engineering. The company embraced innovations early, including lightweight but durable chassis designs and the use of Gardner engines, some of the most fuel-efficient and long-lasting diesel engines ever produced. Later models featured Cummins engines, giving Foden trucks both power and reliability. Foden didn't aim to be flashy. Their trucks were built for work, pure, uninterrupted work. Construction companies, long-haul fleets, and heavy industries relied on Foden trucks for decades because they simply didn't quit. Even after PACCAR purchased the brand and eventually shut it down, many fleets kept their Fodens running for years afterward. Drivers appreciated the comfortable cabs, strong visibility, and easy-to-maintain mechanical systems. Mechanics loved Foden trucks because their components were straightforward, durable, and rarely failed. Fleet owners loved them because they provided high performance with low maintenance costs. Today, European roads lack the personality and durability that Foden provided. A comeback could bring back a truly rugged, mechanical brand at a time when the European trucking market is dominated by highly electronic, highly standardized rigs. A revived Foden with classic toughness and modern comforts would quickly earn loyalty from both old-school drivers and new ones seeking reliability. Those brands weren't just truck makers, they were symbols of craftsmanship, identity, and true mechanical toughness. And even though they disappeared from the highways, their influence is still alive in the stories, memories, and machines that survived. Which of these legendary brands do you wish would return? Let me know in the comments. I'm always reading them. If you enjoyed this ride into trucking history, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with a fellow truck fan. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep the gears grinding and the legends rolling.